So I'd like to share with you some of the things that Delta College has done for our students throughout the pandemic. And it's really helped tremendously. As you know, as you can imagine, with the Electrician and Mechatronics programs, there's a lot of hands-on learning that takes place. So Delta's been very supportive in supplying us with the equipment we need to make that happen. The way our classes are being taught is through synchronous online learning, which means we're using a virtual classroom, which really is kind of like a Zoom call. So my students are online with me while I'm actually teaching, and that allows them the opportunity to ask any questions they may have. I also work off my whiteboard while I'm teaching, so I can work problems on here. So let me show you some of the things Delta's done for us. First of all, in our math class, Delta's bought calculators for everyone, and the students can check them out in the library. And why that's so important is because we do a lot of math in electrician and mechatronics programs. So we have to know how to use our calculators. And when we're online, if everybody has the same calculator, it's very helpful in being able to make the class more effective and for the students to actually learn the material better. Then when we get to DC circuits, our focus in that class is learning about DC, how DC works, and how to use our meter. So Delta has purchased all this equipment, and in this class what you would get is a power supply, a breadboard, and a meter, a case of wires, and a resistor kit. So when the students would take this class, we would have our lecture portion of the class, and then after lecture, we would get together and do our labs together, with each student doing their lab at home, and me doing the lab here, and helping them through the way to make sure that they understand how to use the equipment. So for example, I've got the power supply set up right now at 5 volts. And I built a little circuit here with some resistors, and the student would build a circuit similar to this, and they would then take their meter and place it in the appropriate point, and there you can see I got 5 volts coming in, and then as I move my red probe throughout the circuit, I can see that the voltage changes. So we learned Ohm's law and a lot of those types of laws in this class, and the students can actually build the circuits and see that they actually work. Then when we get to 120 class, our focus on that class once again is our meters, so the students will still have a meter, and then we're going to learn how to use the oscilloscope. So this is an oscilloscope right here, and instead of the power supply, the students would get an Elanco trainer, which is both a DC and an AC power supply. And they still have the resistor kits, the wires kits, but in addition we give them a transformer and some inductors and capacitors along with the circuit. So now we're learning AC. So once again, the students will build a circuit. So I have a RLC circuit here set up, which has resistor, a capacitor, and an inductor in it. And the students would hook up the probes for the oscilloscope, and they'd get a display here. So right now, you can see that at this frequency, this circuit is acting capacitive because the current, which is the yellow line, is leading the blue line, which is the voltage. But as I adjust the frequency, the students could see that, oh, now I'm at resonant frequency because they're right on top of one another. And then as I increase the frequency even more, now we can see that the circuit is lagging and my circuit's acting more inductive. So the students get a lot of skills with working on the oscilloscope. In fact, in some ways, the students get more of an opportunity to work on the equipment because they're not having to work in a team and sharing the equipment with others. They're forced to do the labs all by themselves and actually get the hands-on activities to learn the material better.